What's up, everybody? Spencer from Ice 9 Kills here, and we are celebrating the release of Super Troopers 3 in theaters right now. And my boy Paul Soter is going to be joining me right in just a moment from the Broken Lizard account. Hope everybody's having a good Friday, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Just a moment. Sending the invite to the Broken Lizard official. How's everybody doing out there? I got my official Super Troopers 3 popcorn buckets from the premiere at San Diego Comic-Con, which was a great time. And we're going to be chatting with my boy, Paul Soter, from the team, the Super Troopers team. It's going to be an amazing, amazing event. Everyone in the comments, let me know if you've seen Super Troopers 1 and 2. Personally, I think part 3 is my favorite. I got lucky enough to see an early screening, actually about 6 months ago, and just saw the premiere at San Diego Comic-Con. Uh, it's a hoot of a film. I highly recommend it. And just let me know if everybody can hear me nice, loud, and clear. And I believe Paul should be coming on in just a moment. Greetings from Germany. Got a lot of people in Germany here. A lot of people in the US. Stand by just a moment. Going to check the router, make sure the connection is good, and I'll be right back with you. This is live TV, guys. Okay. Well, appreciate it. We tried. I am back. Sorry for the technical difficulty. I'm 40 years old, so I don't understand technology. And without further ado, my buddy, your friend, Paul Soter, the Broken Lizard. Am I on? Super Troopers. Close to each other. We're pretty good at this. I think we're getting the hang of it already, buddy. These gigantic buckets are in the way. I know. Do you want me to get rid of the buckets? That's kind of cool. I think they're cool. So, congratulations, buddy. We're here. We have to get close. Oh, there we go. We are on the dais, as they say. Oh, Super opening day. Opening day, Super Troopers 3. I've got my glasses. I've got my popcorn buckets. Why don't you throw on your glasses, buddy? And I was just telling the crowd that I had the pleasure of actually being on set during the filming of Super Troopers 3. Most of my sex scenes were cut out, unfortunately. We have to save something for the extended cut. It's all about the release, the X-rated extended cut, boner cut with extra release. Yeah, extra release, full release. So thanks for coming by, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, it's opening day, so it's like my back went out. I got nervous diarrhea. Which of your bathrooms am I okay to destroy? One of the Jason masks?
Yeah, the Jason mask one is the better one.
All right.
Better for splatter in there.
Yeah, talking about splatters.
So I'm talking about splatter film, yeah. But this is exciting. Tell us a little bit about how you guys got together. It's such a, to me, from what I've said, such a cool story. College buddies.
Mhm.
Had an idea, did a bunch of sort of comedy troupe stuff, and now you're making films with your buddies. Like 30 years later, it's pretty awesome.
That's always an excellent omen on opening day when your sunglasses bust. Oh, wait, are they supposed to do that?
They're collapsible, buddy.
What?
You're a pro.
These have never done this before.
It's good luck.
See, I'm that out of sorts. Yeah, college pals, college chums,
Right.
Colgate University. Go
Gators.
Red Raiders. They changed it. So I think you can't say Raiders or you can't say Red anymore.
It's your best out.
So now it's the
Colgate.
Colgate Persons.
Right.
Go Persons.
Go person.
Um,
And no relation to the toothpaste company at all.
And there may have been a connection at some point, but they phased that out after they found out they were testing toothpaste on rabbits, so they don't like to talk about the 86 of the toothpaste. And we started doing sketches, and it was fun, and people really liked it. And none of us had anything else going on in our lives, so when we graduated, we all went down the road to New York City.
New York City.
Broadway.
Right.
With our name in lights. And
you were fresh off with Destroyer, right?
Nothing but a tube of chapstick and a
dance belt. Yeah, fresh off with Destroyer.
I hope you guys are ready for a bunch of references you may not understand.
Probably not.
But yeah, and then we all, crashing on floors and sharing one-bedroom apartments for 10 years in New York City, waiting tables.
Right.
I worked at a pen store.
Pen store?
Very good pen sales.
Wow.
And
terrific penmanship, by the way. That does add up.
Thank you very much. I don't know if you've noticed that.
His V's are they're like perfect triangles. Anyway, I don't know where.
That's another podcast.
That's a different document.
Penmanship pals.
Penmanship
the name of our.
Yeah, that's good.
Just about.
You heard it here.
Penmanship.
Penmanship pals. In the new year.
So yeah, we were doing live shows in the city, the duplex, places like that, cabarets, and
just doing the scene really.
We were, and this was the early '90s, and the way that it worked back then was if you were a sketch comedy group, you tried to get on MTV or you tried to get on a show on Comedy Central. So that's what we were going for, and we just kept missing out. Like to the state or to like the Upright Citizens Brigade. Right. We were always like a bridesmaid, never a bride. So kind of just as we were kind of getting frustrated and thinking about giving up, we realized like we'd go to the movie. All we did was we went to the movies all the time. Every day we went to the movies. And this was when, for the first time, you could go to like the multiplex and half the movies were these like little tiny budgeted movies like Clerks,
right,
and Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and Reservoir Dogs.
The Miramax era.
Yeah. And
when you didn't necessarily need a big studio budget to have a hit.
No, in fact, people were like spending no money at all and taking movies to festivals and getting them bought. And so, because I think in our mind, even having a sketch comedy show, we always were thinking about the Monty Python model of, okay, we'll do a sketch comedy show, and then like Monty Python, we'll make movies. And then there was a point at which we were like, well, why don't we just leapfrog the fucking TV show shit,
right,
and just try to make movies. So we made a really small budget thing up at Colgate University, kind of a little teenage indie rom-com, Puddle Cruiser.
Puddle Cruisers.
Some people haven't seen it. It's a pretty good movie.
Absolutely. It shows you what is to come, really, the seed.
It's the something there. Like
it's don't know. It's like a band's demo.
Exactly. And that got into a bunch of festivals, but we just kept quite not getting a distribution deal.
Right.
But it was encouraging enough that we're like, well, let's do another one. Well, what's the next thing we want to do? And, part of our life as sketch comedians was also like performing in colleges, and so we were always doing road trips. Always like the five of us crammed into Jay's Saab, and
Great vehicle.
fun, so fun, and smoking a lot of grass, driving around, and it was just sort of like we just as we collected funny stories and thinking about turning them into sketches, we were like, we have all these funny bits now that take place on highways, uh, um, or in fast food places. And what's like a movie that, well, like a movie concept that would then be an excuse to take all these funny kind of road stories. And we're like, oh, you know what? Highway patrolmen spend their whole days on these roads, and they probably see a lot of stupid stuff. And they probably pull over stoned kids like us all the time, and
Right.
and just kind of had this idea of like, if those highway patrolmen were funny dudes, uh, who were also really understimulated, uh, how much fun could they actually have trying to entertain themselves on the road? And that then became the sort of light bulb for like, oh, okay, if we were highway patrolmen, we can use all these funny bits and observations and sketches. And so, yeah, we were able to get that budget from the father of a girl we'd gone to Colgate with, who was an investment banker, and this was, like I said, the
Toothpaste errors.
more toothpaste, and we got just enough from this guy to do Super Troopers, and then that went to Sundance and sold, the first day, first night. It was a midnight movie, the first night of Sundance.
And how old were you guys? Mid-20s at this point? Or
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
what an exciting time to be with your buddies at Sundance, which is such a
Yeah.
elevated film festival. I mean, that must have just been the time of your guys' lives.
Yeah, because at this point, like our heroes were Tarantino and Linklater and Kevin Smith, and Mike Judge. So we also liked going to festivals to try to meet those guys and impress those guys. And so to go and, Super Troopers had never been put in front of an audience before. So Kevin and Jay are literally carrying the prints on the airplane, still fighting with each other about whether that opening scene worked or whether it sucked. I mean, they truly like spent the whole plane ride being like, I'm telling you, we fucked up. This is a bad idea. It's not funny. And then, it was at the Egyptian theater's famous Babel Theater in
Right on the
city.
drop.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it was packed. And so it was like 400, 500 people or whatever. And that opening scene starts, and I don't think I've ever matched that in terms of like exciting, awesome moments in all of my years than that night sitting there and having this crowd lose their fucking minds over this scene. Like, we thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
Like, and so by the time that, Lemmy's doing donuts and the gravel and the dust, and then the Super Troopers title card comes up, the people were standing up and screaming. And we were like,
Wow.
what the fuck is going on here? And
had you shown it to a crowd before? Was this the first real show?
We had done those kind of friends and family where maybe you got 10 people, 12 people.
Right.
And, as we, like the big message that we keep saying as we're on tour for Super Troopers 3 is like, yeah, funny movies are fun to watch in groups of your 5 buddies, you maybe even 10 people, but like you fill a theater to watch something funny together, and it's just nothing like it.
And it's a communal experience.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the business has gotten away from that. I think after COVID, it was like, okay, well, only event movies, gigantic action or superhero stuff can be on a big screen. Okay, well, horror movies and even little horror movies can, because people will still come out for that. Comedies, generally speaking, especially R-rated comedies, just aren't on the big screen anymore. So we were thrilled when the studio said, no, we want to do theatrical on this, but it's just a question of like, have people completely lost the habit of going out to the theater to see a comedy?
Right. Well, what I love about your whole story with the Broken Lizard team, it's very punk rock. You guys didn't wait around for anything to happen. You raised the money on your own. You made a film. You got it into a film festival, and that was your way in. Much like with our band, we didn't we didn't get signed by a record label. We went out there, we did the work, and we sort of pushed it through. And you guys showed that perseverance, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
They also have finely toned upper body.
yeah. Plus, with that whole punk thing, we like the audience to spit on us.
Right,
on
right.
them.
Very much the room. Like
Yeah, the G.G. Allen stuff. We like to hook ourselves
Yeah.
up by our nipples and
boobies out.
no. I mean, that's the fun thing. Is it like when you talk about your experiences, then I am like, yeah, no, I guess we're just a band. Because everything was going out on the road. Even once, when we made Public Cruiser, and we couldn't get distribution, we said, fuck it, we're gonna rent an RV, take the print, and just drive around from college to college all over the Northeast for a month, showing it wherever they would let us show it. And it was exactly like the stories you hear about, oh, you're in the van and you're sleeping on the floor. Like we would roll into town, do a radio interview and be like, does anybody have a floor for us to sleep on?
Right.
I mean, so it was
Very much
all those same parallels. And I think it's that like feeling like, no, we are a band that kind of created a sense of brotherhood that's apparent in all the movies. People can feel that, and it is this kind of thing. I'm watching guys making a movie, but it feels a bit like a band.
And Searchlight, or which studio put out the first one? Was it?
So Super Troopers was bought by what was at the time Fox Searchlight, a division of Fox, and now it's just Searchlight because Fox is gone.
So what's so cool about it, from what I understand, I think I was a freshman in high school when it came out. Fox Searchlight puts it out. There wasn't a ton of money behind the marketing. This was really a movie that was built on word of mouth. Another thing, like with a band, if the album's good, if the movie's good, people are going to talk about it. And it was before streaming, really. It was when people were buying DVDs and they were sharing it in their dorm rooms.
Yeah, I mean, there was no, and it's true. It is hard to market a movie that has no stars in it.
Right.
You don't know anybody. Nobody knows anything about this. So that actually went back to the rock and roll thing, where when Fox Searchlight bought it, said they were going to release it wide. They said, and what you guys are going to do is we're going to give you a rock and roll tour bus. It's going to have all the Super Troopers logo shit on it. And you're going to, same thing, spend a month now going around in a tour bus, playing it in cities, doing radio, TV interviews, pushing it. And like, that was the coolest fucking thing. Like, we had a rock and roll tour manager. His named Eric Wilkinson. He's like this grizzled guy from Manchester, and he had been with the Replacements. He had been with like the Allman Brothers, and
he was hard. I mean, he was.
Yeah. And he thought we were the most hilariously stupid. Like, we thought, look at us, look how rock and roll we are, and we're doing bongs in the back of the bus and cranking music and playing air guitar and like, holy shit, look at us, we're rock stars. And he'd come be like, you're not a bunch of rock stars, you're a bunch of fucking pussies. He was used to like
Keith Moon,
Keith Moon and
television sets.
Yeah. And so even even at our most rock and roll, we're still just a bunch of sweet
guys,
soft boys.
And what I love about what you guys do, obviously, Super Troopers falls into that subgenre of comedy that I love, the cop comedy, from Naked Gun, Leslie Nielsen, and Police Academy. But what you guys have built, it also sort of combines it for me with a little bit of the Christopher Guest, how there's an ensemble, so you always look forward to the next film. Like after Super Troopers, you do Club Dread and Beer Fest, and you look forward to what your next characters are going to be. And I thought that was a really smart way to do it. And you could see on screen, even in the new one, you guys are friends, and it shows through that you're having fun with what you do.
Yeah, but that was definitely, we wanted to be like Christopher Guest and that gang. And I think that's why we chose, for better or for worse, for the thing that we were going to do after Super Troopers to be Club Red, which was like stylistically totally different, a whole different genre. And we deliberately made each of our characters, as much as possible, the opposite of our characters in Super Troopers.
You're the DJ?
I'm DJ Dave. Not at all. Yeah. I'm a fucking wasted like club kid, DJ wannabe idiot.
And this Club Dread, for those who don't know this movie, if you are a slasher fan, if you're a comedy fan, you need to see this because it's the perfect marriage of classic '80s slashers with the comedy that know from Super Troopers.
And it's responsible for our marriage.
That's
because
right.
That's the movie that's in terms of our story,
Right.
our meet cute, our love story, Boy Meets Girl.
It's the old American love story in the market. Us. So yeah, we met Silver Screen Comedy at Paul, and we
And Eric,
yeah,
because you knew that we had done horror, and you were a fan of Club Dread, and so then we met, and like we all hit it off. Obviously, Eric likes too, but like the realization that we also grew up on all of the same horror movies, and especially the '80s slasher stuff.
I remember.
We all pieces. Oh my God, you go in the Prowler. Oh my God, the Maniac. And then we were like hot and heavy there for a while.
Yeah, it was meant to be. A lot of people said, "Wait, you were with that Paul guy?"
Okay, a lot.
Kind of a lot. But yeah, so that started our relationship. We've been good buddies ever since. We've got a script that we're making, Slashing the Christ. Look out for that coming to you at some point.
It's coming together. I think
the pieces are coming together, Watson, as they say. Yeah.
So yeah.
So then Super Troopers is this big cult word of mouth hit. You do all these other great movies. You do Beer Fest. You do Club Dread. You do Slam and Salmon, which I feel is a very underrated. I love that one.
Yep.
Takes you all the way to Super Troopers 2, which was like a return to formula, bringing back those characters. And now, almost 24 years later after the original, we've got part 3 in theaters now. I was lucky enough to see an early screening of it, like, I don't know, 6-8 months ago. It was awesome. And I just saw it again at Comic-Con, and it's even better than it was. Tell us a little bit about what you can about the story and where it sort of takes you without giving away too much.
Yeah, I mean, even before Super Troopers 2 came out, because like we've just been on tour for the last 3 weeks, and we did the same thing with Super Troopers 2 on the road for about a month before that movie came out. And so what's great is that ends going on tour ends up recreating the way it used to be when we were young before Super Troopers, because we all lived together. None of us had significant others. Obviously, none of us had children, and so we were together all the time. And so inevitably, we just were always riffing, we were always trying to crack each other up, which turns into ideas for scenes, into ideas for movies. So while we were touring to do Super Troopers 2, we were just riffing, and this idea came up that, like, imagine if Fargo was fucking your sister. Oh my God, how miserable. Yeah? Yeah. And then what if Fargo was engaged to marry your sister? Oh my God, how hilariously awful. For me, and Rabbit and Mac, like, how wonderful and hilarious it would be if poor Thorny now knew that Fargo was going to marry his sister and they were going to become family. So we latched onto that idea, and then when Super Troopers 2 came out, it performed really well opening weekend. Opening weekend is very important.
Go to the theater now.
Please.
Turn off the live stream, go to the theater now.
Right. Or bring the live stream into the theater.
Bring the live stream into the theater.
That would be crazy. We're talking to you, but watching the movie.
Whoever goes to the theater while we're still here for the next 10, 15 minutes, we're going to multicast and broadcast.
Sure.
And don't show the screen.
Purchase, right.
Right. Proof of purchase will get you one of these popcorn buckets.
Sure.
Right?
We can't be held to that legally. So we had this kernel of something that we really liked. And then after number 2 came out, Searchlight said, hey, look, I mean, do you guys want to keep going, do another one? And we said, yeah, we did have this kind of idea about this Fargo's Thorny's sister thing. So they said, great, go write it. And then, if we like it, we'll do that. And then we, spent a few years working on that script. And it's funny because we were always like, well, okay, we've got this wedding plot, but clearly that's going to have to be a B plot because going to have to be a crime. There's going to have to be a little mystery to solve. There's going to have to be road shenanigans, evil shenanigans. And so we had these drafts that were much more about this crime and the marriage was sort of secondary. And then it's just been like every time we sat down to write, we just kept having more funny ideas, plus realizations of like, okay, because it's Thorny and Thorny's sister, it's going to be an Indian wedding. And Indian weddings have a lot of funny elements to them that we were like, oh man, that would be a really good bit. Plus, then like you're like, well, if you're going to do a wedding movie, you have certain things you just have to do. You have to have a bachelor party, so you have to have the fitting scene. Turban Outfitters. Spencer wrote one joke for the movie, and he will not shut up.
Hey, I didn't. I'm proud.
I think he had a special thanks too in the credits.
Did I? I don't know. Go see it. Tell me if
That's one way to find out.
Yeah. But the bachelor party is one of my favorite
movies. Yeah. Yeah. So we kept realizing there's so many set pieces you need to do if your lead characters are involved in a wedding. And we just at some point we were like, I guess the wedding is the egg plot. And it's so fucking funny. And we were like, well, obviously still there's gonna be some crime going on, there's gonna be a little bit of a mystery. We're going to be out on the highways, but we thought, maybe we just make that the A plot. There's also like, Farva is American Sweetheart. Like,
right.
Another thing, spending 3 weeks out on the road with these guys. Like, you see a fan, they fucking push me out of the way to get a picture with Heffernan because they just, for whatever reason, like that character has caught fire. And we went to do WWE wrestling events last weekend in Minneapolis, and you walk through an arena of 40,000 people, and even when he's not in uniform, like people just see him and they lose their minds. So
it's become an iconic character.
This Archie Bunker meets Homer Simpson.
And in this movie, you get to see him in a lot of different lights.
Yes.
Obviously, right? You never see him with a girl before.
Yeah.
The whole dynamic of him, with this Indian family.
Yes.
You think it's going to go awry, and then it goes.
Yeah. So there's all these kind of meet the parents elements of it too. It's the idea of just putting Farva into a kind of a meet the parents format. So does that make it a different movie than the other Super Troopers movies? Yes, situationally, but like you look at it, it's just still the same comedy. It's still the same dynamics. It's still the same set pieces. And hopefully, if anything, like the studio always wants you to kind of try to expand your audience. And so it was another thing like, okay, maybe you get some girls out, you get some women out, because who doesn't like a wedding?
Of course, yeah.
Especially at Bollywood.
No, and I was there for a lot of the wedding scenes. I think maybe you could see me in the background somewhere.
I wanted you front and center, not just because
Jay,
we have that on.
Jay had a different vision. He wanted
he's the boss.
No, it was great.
But also, I think you weren't sufficiently Indianly dressed. Like they just had you in like a wedding suit as if we were going to.
Really, I thought I was in a whole garb. Maybe I went to the wrong factory.
Nadia had the whole.
She had a whole.
She got more screen.
She got more screen time, but I'm not bitter about it at all.
Look, there are no small parts, just small actors.
Small actors.
That's the old chestnut.
But tell us about some of the fresh blood in this movie, Nat Faxon.
Nat Faxon, everybody's favorite.
He's such a scene stealer. I remember him. First time I think I saw him was probably in Orange County.
Yeah.
He plays Chip, and he's talking about, ostensibly it's about vampires, but it's really about the reunification. But it's funny. He plays a new great character.
Yeah. So he's our new captain.
New Brian.
Yeah, because one of the things about this sort of realization of, okay, look, it's now all these years later. I think we couldn't keep the police station exactly the same. It just doesn't make any sense. Like Brian Cox reminded us that he's 79 years old.
Right.
He wouldn't be an active police captain at 79 years old.
He looks great though.
He does. He's always great.
I thought he looks even better than he did in 2.
I know.
Working on those lats and everything.
That's the Succession. Have you seen Succession?
You've been telling me about this. I'm embarrassed to say that happened, but I know Brian Cox, of course, from Rush Hour, which he was fantastic. Yeah.
I never
made you from. Max, tell me this isn't happening. rather not discuss this in front of me. He's the worst student we've got.
Oh, he's so great. That's how we cast. That's why we cast him in Super Troopers. Was we were approached by his people saying, "Oh, look, he's read this script. He really wants to do comedy."
Oh, okay.
And we were like, he's like a heavy, serious guy. And we're like, is that gonna make sense? Is that gonna work to have kind of a non-comedian? But we had also watched Rushmore. And like, he's just so funny.
So funny.
He's not trying to be funny. He's just effortlessly funny in like a serious guy way. But yeah, he came back, and yeah, like I said, that like we couldn't deny the fact that time has passed, and so that meant, you know, Brian Cox's character has a little more of a kind of foot out the door role. We need a new captain, so we brought Faxon in. But Faxon was our age, so we're like, oh, it's kind of funny if our new captain is somebody we went to the academy with who we don't respect at all, and we treat him like shit.
Again,
and then
books.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then also the idea of like, well, look, there's no way all these years later that they wouldn't have brought on somebody younger than Rabbit. It just doesn't make sense.
Grounds
still have, a rookie. But then that becomes a storyline. It's like, okay, well, if Rabbit has been a rookie all these years and now they do have a younger guy, how would that make him feel? Does that give him an existential crisis? So that's Rabbit's storyline is he doesn't know what to sort of do with himself now that he's not the rookie getting affectionately shat upon by the other guys.
But having Brian Cox, like who's like a classically trained like stage actor, right? It reminds me a little bit to talk about to horror. It reminds me of in Halloween when they got Donald Pleasance. It adds a certain
gravitas.
If you would, and he just continues to be awesome.
Yeah. And like I said, at the beginning when we were trying to get Super Troopers made, the thought was like, we need to get the biggest comic actor that we could. We were like, oh, we need to get Bill Murray. And now I look at it and it's like, well, I think that would have been a mistake because part of the brilliance of Brian Cox is you need somebody more serious to play opposite us. I don't think a comedian as the captain works the same as a guy like that who's stern and uptight and kind of strict and yet still very funny. So I think that ended up being part of what made that movie work.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes the least obvious choice is sometimes the best because he's a great actor and you put him on screen and he's electrifying.
Yeah, and it makes us realize like, okay, we need to have our shit together too because none of us are professional actors.
Well, I mean, sort of.
I mean,
class lecturing went to
in Strasbourg by way of Juilliard.
By way of Juilliard.
But like we barely. I mean, we've come to figure out what we're doing, but like still, like we, half the time we don't hit our marks. Half the time we fuck up our cues. We're just, for us, it's always been turn on the camera and let's just kind of make each other laugh. I mean, we're doing the script, but we're not necessarily thinking about the craft or the art of acting. So to have somebody like Brian on set kind of makes us be like, okay, we do need to kind of get our shit together.
Steps up the game. Absolutely. Yeah. It's like when a band works with an A-list producer or some studio musician comes and says, oh, we better get our shit together.
Like when you did that album with George Martin producing.
Right. I mean,
you were like, oh my God, strings
and quartet. Now it's a Broadway thing. Now we need to bring in a glockenspiel and everything.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to tell the audience here about Super Troopers 3?
No, I mean, I think, we think anybody who loves the first movie or the second movie will love it. But I also find, should we get this too, like, we noticed with the second movie that, I get it, like people who were obsessive about the first one, like who discover a band or whatever, so they feel that ownership of it, that as their career goes on, that they're like, it's not my like special thing anymore. And I think, people should revisit the second one, because I meet a lot of people who tell me the first one's their favorite movie, and I say, oh, you see the second one? They're like, yeah, no, I liked it. And they'll also say like, when I first saw Super Troopers, I didn't quite get it. Everyone was talking about it. And I watched it the second time, and I realized there are all these jokes I didn't get the first time. And then I watched it a third time. I was like, oh my God, there's a million jokes. Then it became my favorite movie. Like, I think people should have that expectation of like, you kind of need to see these movies a few times to realize like every page of the script has probably 7 things that we are trying to sneak in there that we think will make people laugh. And it's like with music, my favorite albums are the ones that it took me 7 times.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is genius. And so, get out there, see it, revisit the second one.
That's why, in a way, it reminds me of like Office Space. When I saw it first, I thought, oh, this is really cool. Then on subsequent viewings, you realize how funny it is. Same with the Christopher Guest stuff. Same with Club Dread, Super Troopers. So but what he's saying is buy like 7 or 8 tickets.
Yeah, it's just to see it today, see it tomorrow, see it Sunday.
Right.
That's 3 right there.
3 right there.
And
buy some friends. Yeah. All right, guys.
See it 3 times. Super Troopers 3.
3 times. You have to be 3 times.
Right. If you can send me 3 proofs of purchase,
he'll come.
Spencer will come perform a private living room show, and I know you love doing that.
I love living room.
Because what's good is the blood gets everywhere. It gets in the carpet. The chainsaw. Sometimes people lose their deposit.
It's messy.
Chainsaw somebody through the coffee table.
If you prove you purchase the tickets, I will be in your living room right away. I believe that's legally binding through. Legally blinding. Thank you guys for hanging out. Paul, thanks for coming.
Yes, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. We should do a podcast.
We have so much we could talk about.
I know. I wanted to start one called Between Two Urns. Like Between Two Urns.
Yeah, dead, but they have to actually have dead bodies.
Yeah, tying in the folk.
But no, we should. I think we also have developed a lovely pattern of watching old-fashioned movies together. We've done Black Christmas.
Yep.
We did Intruder.
The Lord Spender, Intruder, famously.
Yeah. I think we talked about doing Night School.
Night School is next.
So if you guys
and Night Court,
then we'll do Night Court then we'll do Night Moves. That song.
What was it? Larroquette? Is it
John Larroquette?
He famously does what?
This Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
So right, if you want to hear more of that completely like hardcore, nonsensical slasher movie conversation, maybe we just start doing a series of movie nights.
Yeah, movie night podcasts.
Yeah.
Week tours. Well, thank you guys. Go see Super Troopers 3. It's in theaters right now.
I don't have my glasses on. I'm assuming all that scrolling.
I believe so.
How much they love it.
What is? Oh, the sound wasn't.
Read one for me.
The sound wasn't on the entire time.
Okay.
I'm joking. Thanks, guys.